A voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light. The stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts and restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise. His words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Worlds collide in his gentle tone. A whisper makes you feel at home. Each line he shares feels like coming back to a hearth of words in the silent black. From novels deep to poems that sway, he reads the night into the day. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. A voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light. The stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts and restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise. His words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes. Float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Worlds collide in his gentle tone. A whisper makes you feel at home. Each line he shares feels like coming back to a hearth of words in the silent black. From novels deep to poems that sway, he reads the night into
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Seems quiet. Too quiet. I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You can attach towers? Shut up. Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Renato Origamiato. I don't know. Oh man, it's been a weekend. How are you? How are you? G'day. G'day, mate. Right on. Hello there. How are you? Good, yeah. Oh boy. I took a solid 30-45 minute nap earlier, and I could have probably kept sleeping throughout the night. It was insane. I'd be on the barbecue. Did the Brits barbecue? Absolutely. You can do it when you BBQ it. Just had a very nice email come in about 5 minutes ago. I had emailed someone about the possibility. About the possibility of doing a audition for this kind of nature-esque documentary style voice work. And the person just got back to me 5 minutes ago saying that I've got a great voice and they would love to get an excerpt from me. So, yeah, they sent over a script and I can choose whatever I want from the script and then send that back over for consideration. So that's cool. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna star that actually, just so I don't lose track of it. Put that back over there. All right. Yes, but otherwise, it's been a whirlwind of a weekend. Why a whirlwind indeed. David Attenborough better watch out. Man, that guy is a legend. Absolute legend. As we see the streamer sitting in his chair. Mama. Hello, Stunt Mama's mama. Wonderful to see you. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday. How are ya? Oh. I'm just saying, I took a short nap earlier, and it was like one of those naps where you were sound asleep. Thank God I set an alarm, because otherwise I wasn't waking up. Not at all. That's good stuff. Good stuff. It is lovely to see you all. It looks like, based on our new RPG game, that there's a new spring event. The spring event starts today. Let your stream know they can take part with the command !event. How does the event work? Once players type event, They'll enter a special dungeon to defeat enemies and collect eggs. After they've gathered 100 eggs, oh boy, they'll be given a limited time badge that will be added to their profile permanently. Nice. This event ends on Sunday, June 8th at midnight Eastern. So hop to it and happy egg hunting. Yeah, technically it's still spring, but isn't it like June 21st or something? Something like that, that it's technically summer. I mean, in my mind, it's already summer. All right, let's see what happens. Events. Is that a chicken? Well, let the egg hunting begin. This is great. That looks like a really ticked off bunny. Get away from my eggs. I consider summer Memorial Weekend through Labor Day weekend. Yeah, I think that would make sense too. That's a good way of kind of putting it. Easier to kind of capture the time frame because it's specific holidays. What is it time? Oh, turn in time. Oh wait, if you die, do you not get to keep your eggs? Ooh. That could be bad. All right, well, exclamation point event for that, or just regular exclamation RPG if you want to do the regular attacks dungeon thing. My gosh. Speaking of Memorial Weekend, tomorrow I am going to Lowe's again. It's like my home away from home. I'm gonna pick up a bunch of lumber and I'm gonna start building a outdoor dining table. And then after that, I'm gonna build identical dining benches to go with it. It's going to be magical. Very excited for it. Because in theory, the build should be pretty straightforward. In theory. Yeah. So when I watch Planet Earth 2030, it will be your voice. Oh man, I wish. That'd be amazing. One of my goals, not while I'm yawning, but one of my goals, hopes, dreams, whatever, is to be a voice on one of those like Netflix documentaries or whatever service is showing it at the time. That'd be pretty epic, if I do say so myself. Oh, I am so sorry. That nap was needed, but man, it has hurt me, I think. Gotta have some more of this tea. Mad Locust. That hat reminded me of the first Mafia game. The cabbie that is also the main character has one. Ah, yes. Get in the cab. We're going for a drive. Don't ask any questions. Man, that's good. All right. That's $12, pal. Pay up. Or I'll make sure Vinny helps you swim with the fishes. Oh. New York cabbie in the 50s? Heck yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. My goodness. All right. I've been looking forward to getting back into the story. So it's about time it was Sunday. Gosh darn it. Yeah. We're gonna crack open the book and start on chapter 11 tonight. Chapter 11 is on page 55. It is from it's Owen Lane's chapter, where it's about Owen Lane. Normally I would say it's Owen Lane's perspective, right? But this is written more like third person, so it's not from their perspective, but about them instead, if that makes sense. The guitar music fits really well, and the volume is perfect. Oh, good. Glad to hear it, because after last time, I just don't know anymore. All right, let's hop over to our reading channel. I'm not yawning. It's fine. Oh, the puzzle. I almost forgot. This is your Tennessee-inspired puzzle. There you go. It's a boat in a river. Hey, I sank one of those in Mafia 3. Wow, tonight's stream it's got your name all over it. A paddle boat? I don't see anyone paddling. You'd need at least 5 people to make that thing go. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. 5 people is silly. You need at least 10. Okay. Without further ado, I'm gonna do the event again because I want eggs. It is time to read. As I said, chapter 11, it's about Owen Lane, and it's on page 55. Thank you for being here. I hope your weekend has been lovely. And I will read to you. Right after I yawn. They got 8 convicts chained in the engine room. They're paddling. It was that or prison work. I would have probably taken the prison work, honestly. It sounds terrible. All right, here we go. Owen felt the air leave the room as soon as she entered. It was like being sealed in a snow globe when someone suddenly turned it upside down. The air around him tumbled and tossed, leaving him in turmoil, unable to catch his breath. It's perfect for leg day, though. Yeah. And a little cardio, too. How many eggs did I get? Woo! Another 14. Man, I'm gonna have 100 in no time. Psh. Their eyes locked. The room shifted, and slowly the world around him settled. Ava gave him a little wave as she, her mother, and another woman walked across the bar and headed for a booth. It was a kick to his gut and a shot to the heart that she could unknowingly have that effect on him. He'd have to do better. He berated himself. Excellent. The first pretty girl to turn his head in years, and he was acting like a lovesick, angsty teenage boy. He was 27 for Pete's sake. I don't know who Pete is, but it's for his sake. He shook his head as if trying to clear cobwebs from it and really looked at her. She was pretty. A few men turned to watch her walk across the room, but if he was honest, she wasn't drop-dead gorgeous. Yet, there was just something. Sorry for the yoke. I shall stop now. Badumts. Man, he cracked 2 jokes at the same time. Everybody's just scrambling for air. She filled out her jeans nicely, and that simple white tank top revealed golden, sun-kissed skin. Her long dark hair hung like a satin curtain, loose down her back. He saw the glint of a chain in the lights and wondered if it was her Iowa State pendant. Owen stumbled over the lyrics and had to force his eyes off of her before he made a fool of himself. What was happening to him? He hadn't felt this way in... He racked his brain. Like 4 or 5 years, or maybe ever. Laura, his ex, had always been a flirt, full of energy and effortlessly drawing everyone's attention. She was a friend of one of Dylan's close friends, and after a double date, he and Laura had instantly hit it off. From that night on, their connection had grown with their shared love of music. They quickly became inseparable, but she had never made his heart pound like it did now. That should have been the first sign, he thought, bitterly aware of his oversight. But he hadn't seen it. Not then. He'd been too wrapped up in chasing his career, and she, ever supportive, had urged him to go out and seize opportunities, even though it often meant leaving her behind, either alone or in the company of his brother. Now the pieces fell into place, clear as day, but back then he'd been blind to the truth. Hindsight, of course, was always difficult to swallow. That was Laura, and she was in the past. This was Ava. She was different, and she could be... Stop, he scolded himself. Don't go there. But he couldn't help it. He couldn't wait for the set to be done. He wanted to go over and sit next to her, lean in and see if she still smelled like jasmine on a hot southern night like she had the night before. They reached the end of the song, and mercifully the last chord died out. He signaled for the band to take a break. Technically, they should have played for 5 more minutes, but he didn't have it in him now that she had arrived. He thanked the crowd, announced the break, and unstrapped his guitar. You okay, man? Toby asked, coming up to stand next to him. You screwed up the chorus. God, you idiot. I know, Owen muttered apologetically. I'm sorry, I need a break. You never miss the lyrics on that song or any other. What's going on? Toby followed Owen's gaze as it shifted slightly to the left. Spotting Ava, he gave a discreet head bob in her direction. So, that's it. You got it bad. No, I don't, Owen argued, scowling back at his friend. Yes, you do. Toby's mouth widened into what Owen could only describe as a shit-eaten grin. Toby clapped Owen on the shoulder. Wipe that scowl off your face. There's no need for it. This is a good thing. How's that exactly? Owen asked, reaching down for the dog's leash. Because you haven't had anything for anybody since you kicked out that no-good two-timing bitch of a fake girlfriend. Owen knew he was right. Ava stirred something in him, but he wasn't ready to admit it to Toby and hardly himself. His guard was still up, but he tried to relax his face. After all, people were in the bar, and scowling at the customers wasn't good for tips. As if reading his mind, Toby said, "It's all right. If you're not ready to admit it, heck, I get it. This is all pretty new." He glanced from Ava back to Owen. "Since we only have 10 minutes, do you want me to do you a solid and take Gunner out? Would you mind?" Nope. Toby's grin flashed back into place. "I'll add it to your tab." Owen stepped off the stage. "What tab?" "The favors tab. There's quite a string of tallies." "What the hell?" Owen held out his hand. "Let me see it." "Can't." "Why not?" "'Cause it's locked away in the vault." Toby tapped the side of his head. "Right here." Owen visibly shuddered. I bet it's dark and scary in there." "Can't argue with that." His head jerked in Ava's direction again. "Looking at her makes me think you'll be making regular deposits on that tab. You'll be racking them up pretty quickly, and I'll store them away." He paused for effect, the shit-eaten grin back in full force. "Saving them for a rainy day." "Don't count on it," Owen said, but he wasn't so sure. He strolled backward to the booth. "I got a list of my own." He pointed a finger at Toby and mouthed, "For you." He turned on his heel and faced the booth. "Well, hello, ladies." Ava looked up at Owen with those hazel eyes, and he had to swallow hard to force down the lump in his throat. Including Mrs. Morgan and the blonde who sat at the edge of the curved booth, he asked, "Mind if I join you?" "Please," Ava said, indicating the bench beside her. "Have a seat." Instead of sliding in next to her like he desperately wanted, he slipped in beside the other woman and surprised them both. He wanted so badly to be next to her, but he wanted to look at her even more. He flagged a server down. Can I get anyone anything?" "We're good," Ava said evenly, watching him. Owen ordered a glass of ice water with lemon and a cheeseburger to have ready at the end of the last set. He didn't trust himself with alcohol at the moment. He needed all his wits about him to stay on top of his game. Once he had his footing, he might consider a drink. "Do you have another set?" Ava asked, swirling what was left of the liquid around in her glass. "Yes, one more tonight." "You must be exhausted after playing the last 3 nights," Kelly commented, shifting in the booth to look at him. 4-day gigs are always a whirlwind. They're a lot of fun, but exhausting. I can tell. Kinda screwed up the chorus of that last song, didn't you? Ava asked, calling him out on it. A smile played around her mouth. Ava Lynn, her mother scolded. That wasn't very nice. Maybe not, but she shrugged. It's the truth. Owen laughed. He could see she was going to keep him on his toes. Noticed that, huh? I did. Oh, now, Kelly tisked, trying to gloss over it. You didn't miss a beat. Not a beat, but a word. More like a whole string of them. She had him there. What happened? She leaned in, intrigued, those eyes locked on his, daring him to answer. That lump that he had pushed down when he had first walked over retaliated and lodged in his throat. How was he supposed to answer the question when she was the reason? What had happened to his ability to supply quick comebacks? Somehow, she must be able to kill off a few of his brain cells every time she looked at him. Otherwise, he didn't have an explanation for what was happening to him. She raised her eyebrows and waited for the waitress to place his water on the table, not letting him off the hook. More importantly, how often does that happen? That he could answer. Very rarely. Tonight was a fluke thing. I'm just exhausted tonight. It was a lie. He was tired. It had been a brutally hot couple of days, schlepping equipment to and from the bar and playing late. Then there was the dog, whining at odd times of the night, waking him up and demanding attention. Not that he could blame it all on the dog. He had his own fits and starts as his mind played through visions of her. Kelly reached across the table and patted him on the arm. That's understandable. I'm sure this isn't easy. Seems like a very demanding job. It is, he answered truthfully, but I wouldn't want to do anything else. There was a small giggle from the blonde. Oh, forgive my manners. Owen, this is Kara, my roommate, Ava said to include the other woman in the conversation. Nice to meet you. Or wait, no, that was him. Nice to meet you. Hiya, Kara chirped like a little bird in awe. Toby walked up to the table, returning the German Shepherd. Good evening, he said, addressing the woman. The women, not the woman. Nice to see you again. He gave Wow, now I can't talk. He gave Kelly a wink. He handed the leash to Owen. The deed is done. Thanks, man, Owen said. The dog let out a low growl. Heel, Owen scolded. Immediately, the dog stopped. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what got into him. Owen gave the command, and the dog laid down without any fanfare. He felt a wave of discomfort wash over him. Great. Just what I needed. He shot Gunnar a sharp look, hoping it hadn't caused too much of a scene. Owen hated when he acted up in public, especially at work. Are you going to join us? Ava asked Toby. I would, but I need to do a few things before the next set. Ladies, if you'll excuse me. Of course, they chorused. So what's his name? Ava asked. You never told me. Dog, Owen offered, then heard how cold that actually sounded even to his own ears. Really? Ava asked, her brow furrowed slightly. Owen lifted a shoulder. His name's Gunner. Gunner? I like that. It suits him. Can he sit beside me in the booth? The floor is kind of dirty, Ava said. He could, but my boss won't like it. Besides, he's very structured. The floor doesn't bother him. Can I pet him? Kara asked, reaching out a tentative hand. The German shepherd lifted his head, released a low rumble from his throat, and bared his teeth. Kara quickly retracted her hand. Oh my. Heel, Owen commanded. I don't think that's such a good idea. He seems a little on edge tonight. Sorry about that. His blood pressure ticked up a notch. The dog would get him fired yet. Well, that's understandable. There's probably too many people for him, Ava said. Still, he is really well trained. He is, Kara agreed. How long have you had him? Kelly asked. 5 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days, Owen answered without thinking. Ava stopped petting Gunner and arched an eyebrow at him. Wow, that's oddly specific. Owen played it off. I'm good with numbers. Did you train him yourself? She asked. No, my brother did. He quickly changed the subject. So, tomorrow is your big day? My big day? Ava tilted her head. Don't you start your job tomorrow? Owen asked. Now that the initial awkwardness had worn off, he relaxed and settled in. At least that's what you said last night, but you didn't mention where. Oh, didn't I? She laughed and waved the question away. It was a warm, fascinating sound that Owen found oddly comforting, and the lump in his throat dissolved completely. How could I forget? It's the whole reason I'm here. Well, one of the reasons. In this bar? He questioned, knowing that's not what she had meant. No, of course not. She flushed. He liked to see her slightly off balance. He certainly had been when he sat down. I meant in Tennessee, in Nashville. He heard Kelly sniff and saw her lift a napkin out of the corner of his eye. She dabbed at the tear daintily. Just as if Rexter had shown up in chat, offered a warm hug. Oh, hey, Rexter. Howdy. Daner, 1982. Thank you for the follow. Why did that show up behind the puzzle? Why is everything always broken? Where'd my puzzle go? What the heck? Why is everything broken? Why is everything not working? Oh, there it is. Anyway. Rexter, how you doing? The puzzle's still there? Yeah, but that's true. The alert for the follow showed up behind it, though, instead of on top. That is not how it's supposed to work. Anyway. Man, this tea's delicious. Let's pop the lid back on to help keep it warm. I'm gonna hunt for more eggs. Maybe. Hello? That's weird. Okay, how about just regular? It is broken. All right, I'm gonna stop it and restart it. That's weird. Never seen it do that before. Connected. All right, let's try again. EVENT. There we go. That was bizarre. Anyway, Rexter, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. And Daner 1982, welcome to you as well. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. Okay. I meant in Tennessee, in Nashville. Living the vida loca. Nice. How are you, good sir? I'm good. Yeah. It's been quite the weekend. Yesterday, today I put on the second coat of colored stain on the new planter that I built. So that should be fully dry and ready to go in 2 days. And then yesterday, because apparently I was bored enough, I grabbed a bunch of my scrap wood and I made a raised planter or bed. Like, it's not a raised bed, the one that you normally see, like, sitting on the ground. This one's on legs. So I don't know what you technically call that, actually. Either way, I just decided to whip one of those together, so I did. So yeah. And then I painted that today, and now it's in the backyard waiting to be used. So yeah. All good. And then tomorrow, I'm going to get more lumber, and I'm going to start making a dining room table for outside. And then after that, copying the same design, making 2 benches for that table. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it, actually. Mel, hello. How's it going? Been trying for a while to get on my phone. Oh, no. Well, I'm glad you made it. We're, cooking on chapter 11 right now. Yeah. Owen is sitting down with the ladies, and she just told Owen that, or she's about to tell Owen where she's working, or at least I think she is, because he doesn't know yet that she's going to be working at the bar that they are in. Excuse me. Might need another sip of that tea after all. But yeah, it was funny. I saw a design for a table. My wife saw it too. She thought it was cool. And so I put it in my back pocket for a future, what if. And then earlier today, Stump Papa sent me the exact same design from the same video, and he's like, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. And I was like, well, that's funny because I was actually thinking about making that. So I think the world is trying to tell me that that's what I need to make. Yes. Yes, indeed. Right. And of course, now you want to see the design now, don't you? Or maybe I just want to show it to you. Either way. Either way. It's gonna look kind of like this. So that'd be fun. Gonna make it 8 feet wide or long, whatever you know. That way you can fit about 4 bodies on each side, depending on comfort. So yeah, should be pretty cool. All right, where were we? Yes, page 62. He heard Kelly sniff and saw her lift a napkin out of the corner of his eye. She dabbed it at the tear daintily. How long are you staying? He asked Mrs. Morgan. I'm leaving tomorrow. He saw the pang of sadness in her eyes and saw it reflected in Ava's. He needed to do something quickly before it was too late. And Kelly cried. I'm sure it will be hard for you to leave. Kelly nodded. Especially since it's like a 30-hour drive from here to Idaho. Oh, wait, that's what he said. Sorry. I was like, the Idaho thing totally threw me off there for a second, but that's because he's messing it up. Especially since it's like a 30-hour drive from here to Idaho. Yes, she nodded. Wait, what? Idaho? Kelly sucked in a breath. We're not from Idaho. Ava sniffed. He thinks he's funny. He knows it's Iowa. But silently she mouthed thank you as Kelly laughed and dabbed at a tear that didn't fall. With a smile, Kelly said, You'd be surprised how many times a person hears that. Don't they teach geography in school anymore? The sadness was quickly replaced by pride. Do you know Ava won the school geography bee in 8th grade? Mom, Ava hissed, don't start that. Well, you did, she said, genuinely proud of her daughter. Even went to the state level. Really? Owen grinned. That's fun, Kara chimed in. Who knew you had so many talents? If it hadn't been for that one question, she could have been the state champ and went on to nationals. Looking from mother to daughter, he asked, What was the question that tripped you up? We don't talk about that. And don't encourage her, Owen, Ava warned. She'll be here all night telling you stories of blue ribbons, art projects, and wishes. He liked this mother-daughter team, and that's what they seem to be. Not that I don't want to hear all about the blue ribbons. Wait, no. Not that I don't want to hear all about the blue ribbons and art projects. But wishes? I'm intrigued. Oh, me too, Kara interjected. Oh, it's this list I made. My wish list for my life, Ava explained. Well, what are they? He asked, leaning forward, interested. Dreams and goals I'm determined to achieve. That's so cool, Kara acknowledged. I wish I had done something like that. You still can, Kelly said. Ava is always wishing on dandelions, sending them out into the world. And Tennessee is on your list? Owen asked. It is, Kelly said softly, answering for her daughter. Her words were almost lost in the din of the background music. Did Ava mention she wants to be a singer? Kelly asked. That's why she's here. Owen lifted an eyebrow. No, she didn't mention that. He studied Ava for a hot second. Are you any good? She shrugged. I can hold my own. I know I'm biased, but I think she's pretty good, Kelly answered. He heard Toby's whistle between playlist songs. He turned toward the sound and saw the drummer tap his wrist. It was time for the last set. I'd like to stay and hear more about this list, but I have to get back to the stage. He hesitated, not wanting the night to end without her. Are you going to stay for the last set? Ava looked at the other two women, and both gave their approval. We are, she assured him. Go. We'll be right here when you're finished, won't we? Ava leaned over and gave Gunnar a good rub before Owen walked away with him. He'd only taken a couple of steps. Steps? Nope. He'd only taken a couple of steps when he heard Ava say, Try to remember all the words this time. Think you can do better? He shot back before he could think it through. She gave him a smile that could melt 1,000 suns. Maybe. You may have to prove it, Ava Lynn. He turned on his heel. We will be watching and listening for any little mistake, Ava called after him. He cringed but didn't turn around. The lump that had slowly dissolved in his throat was suddenly back, knowing her eyes would be on him. And that concludes Chapter 11. Let's face it, those eyes were never not on him. Am I right? I'm determined to see if I can get 100 eggs. I don't remember how many I have. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna blow my nose. And just like that, we're back. Well, that was a neat little chapter. I enjoyed that. It was a nice bit of dialogue between the group of them. It wasn't too, heavy-sided on Owen or Ava or well, anybody else for that matter. It was good. How many do I have? 37? Sweet. So yeah, apparently this RPG game has a spring event. That goal is to capture 100 eggs before June 8th, which, based on how things were going, shouldn't be that tough. Chapter 12, page 65, is about Ava Morgan, the girl. The girl of Owen's dreams. God bless his soul. Of course, let's not forget there's still a serial killer on the loose. So it's not all rainbows and sunshine and, you know, acoustic guitars and whatnot. Pickup trucks and country lanes. Shot of bourbon. There's death in the air. You can smell it. All right. I'm going to do 1 or 2 spins on the Wheel of Gains. And then we're... What do you mean, ooh? It's going to be part of the story. You're just going to have to get used to it. And then we'll get back into reading. So, let's see what our first spin has for me. Where's my counter? Here it is. All right.
Streamer picks X10.
Ooh. Streamer picks times 10. I don't want to smell death, thank you. Man, some of those days where I'm really sweating, I do wonder what I smell like and if it's the smell of death or not.
Streamer picks X5.
Wow. 2 streamer picks in a row. Okay. Well, let's bump that down to 3. And let's see, what do we feel like doing? I know. We'll do weighted squats. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. Sound good? Okay. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. Okay. Thank you. Dry. Good evening. Good form? Oh, thanks so much. Excellent. I obviously hate myself. But it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. It's great. Okay. Chapter 12. Wait, did this RPG thing crash again? No, okay. That was weird. Just for a second there, it looked like it was dead. All right, well, go beat off some people. Kill them, not beat, never mind. Chapter 12, page 65. And again, this one is about Ava. The lovely Ava. Ava shifted in her seat as Kara returned to the booth. I just had some guy hit on me on my way to the bathroom. Kara giggled. He wanted to buy me a drink. Was he cute? Ava asked casually. Yeah, kinda, Kara said. But I told him I was here with friends. You girls need to be careful when you're out. Always watch your drinks, especially with this Cumberland killer on the loose. I can't believe they haven't caught him yet. Kelly shivered. You just never know. Believe me, I completely understand, Mrs. Morgan. Kara leaned over and whispered conspiratorially. Blech. That was like a syllable vomit right there. Whispered conspiratorially. There we go. In Ava's ear. I figured she wouldn't approve, so I gave him my number instead. Hold on. You figured she wouldn't approve of a guy buying you a drink, so you gave him a way to reach out to you. Girl, please. The atmosphere around them buzzed with bittersweet energy as she realized the set was coming to a close and the customer had thinned. She felt a pang of sadness. The night had been pure magic. The soulful notes of Owen's voice had wrapped around her like a warm embrace, and she found herself lost in daydreams of being up on that stage with him. Owen's voice cut through Ava's thoughts like a spark. Thanks for being an incredible audience tonight, he said, his tone warm yet teasing. We've got one last song for you. Ava straightened instinctively, her heart racing as their eyes locked across the room. The connection was instant and intense, like the quiet before a storm. She could barely breathe. Owen's playful grin flashed as he leaned toward the mic. I just might have a little surprise. He paused, scanning the crowd with a mischievous gleam in his eyes. Then, as if reading her mind, he turned back to her. If I could get a round of applause, Miss Ava Morgan, he said with a wink and a finger pointed directly at her, so there was no question. Please, join me on stage. The small group of patrons that were left gave a polite applause, and Ava's pulse quickened. Was he serious? She could feel the warmth of the spotlight calling her, but still, she hesitated. Go, Kelly encouraged. As she stepped onto the stage, the spotlight washed over her, momentarily blinding her. Her heart ran wild. She focused solely on Owen, who stood a few feet away, guitar in hand. His eyes shimmered with encouragement and amusement, demanding she accept his challenge. The bass player brought over an extra microphone and placed it before her. Are you familiar with Morgan Wallen's latest single? Owen asked. Oh, drat. That's not in the book. I totally forgot to run ads before we started the next chapter. Okay. I'm going to run them now, but I will not read anything until they're done. So for the rest of you, it's just going to be an awkward 2 minutes. My apologies. Totally should have done that before we started reading. I got distracted. I'm used to awkward minutes. Mad Locust. My. Oh boy. Oh, man. Followage. 11 month, 1 day and 23 hours. Wow. That's... Time just flies by. That's crazy. How was your trip? It was pretty good. Yeah. It was a quick, 24-hour style trip, but it was good to go see everybody and, meet face to face and help them out a little bit, hang out, chat. I didn't want to interrupt too much of their conference and what they needed to do to be ready and all that kind of stuff, but that's why I didn't stay any longer, but yeah, it was good. If they have it again there next year, I'm hoping to go back and see if I can get there a little bit earlier and maybe help out some more. So, we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, thank you for asking. I enjoyed it. I do have... Oh wait, hold on. Mad Locust, 2 years, 1 month, 25 days. Dang. How does this time, go by so quickly? That just blows my mind. But yeah, speaking of trips, I do have a couple coming up in June, and I'll talk more about them once we get there, but there's 2 trips. One that takes me down to Louisville, and then another that takes me up to somewhere in Michigan. I can't remember where. But yeah, in Michigan. And both of those will interrupt stream in some way, shape, or form, which I apologize about. But they are work-related, and there isn't squat I can do about it. Conferences and whatnot. But, yes. We'll get into that when we get closer. I got my apartment 10 years ago, but it feels like only 2. Wow. You've been in the same apartment for 10 years? That's kind of unusual anymore. Or maybe it's not, because it's been a long time since I was doing the apartment thing. But it didn't feel typical to stay in an apartment for that long, A few years, sure. But then you'd find somewhere else because rent changed, or, another place opened up in a better area that you wanted to be in, closer to whatever. Yeah. Stepmama's mama, 3 years, 2 months, 5 days. Dang. It's a great apartment. All the way to the top and the side of the block. Great view, cheap rent, buses and trains close by. Well, then maybe you've already made it. You know what I mean? Perhaps that location was the location you were trying to be at. You got kicked out from a loud party? Oh dear. Whoopsie. What kind of party was that? I got one quiet neighbor and a couple living below me that aren't home often. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Especially if you got good views. I mean, that's the thing that you gotta wake up to every day, right? So, you can't change the location. Alright, thank you for grinning and bearing through those tedious ads. I hate them. But, they are what they are. Okay. So, Ava had just been pulled up on stage by Owen randomly. Their last song of the set. Of the night. And Owen asked if she was familiar with Morgan Wallen's latest single. Now, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it's wonderful. So let's continue. I got the cemetery right outside my window. It's the best view. And when they find me one day, and they don't have to carry me far. Oh my god, that's funny. Quiet neighbors then, yeah. Won't complain too much about the noise. She nodded, and after a brief exchange, they quickly settled on the song. Owen turned to the band and announced their choice. The opening chords filled the air, vibrant and alive. Ava felt an exhilarating rush as the melody wrapped around her. She was swept away with each note as if the world outside, the spotlight, ceased to exist, and it was only her and Owen. His gaze held hers, intense and unwavering, pulling her into a shared moment filled with electricity. As they sang together, their voices blended harmoniously, creating a magic that resonated deep within her. She could see the warmth in his eyes. The way he smiled just from her sent butterflies swirling in her stomach. The lyrics flowed through her, telling a story that felt both familiar and new. She lost herself in the rhythm, every guitar strum striking a chord within her soul. Owen's steady gaze anchored her. Their harmony blended seamlessly as if they had been performing together for years. As the final notes echoed through the air, Ava's heart swelled. The applause washed over her like a wave, but Owen's gaze held her grounded, steadying her as the world seemed to pause. At that moment, with the last chord lingering in the air, she felt a surge of confidence, a quiet certainty that this was only the beginning of what could be. The music faded, but their connection remained unspoken yet palpable. As the last of the applause died out, Ava turned to the audience, her voice soft but filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said, looking over the crowd, her eyes glistening. "Thank you for indulging me with this moment." She turned and waved her hand, encompassing the entire band. "And to this incredible band for letting me join them for the last song. You've made this moment something I'll carry with me forever." She paused, breathed, and then looked at Owen, her smile deepening. "And especially to Owen Lane for taking a chance and letting me sing with him." Ava stepped off the stage, buzzing from the performance, with the warmth of their shared moment still in her chest. She scanned the room, her heart still racing, and saw her mother beaming and Kara waiting patiently by her seat. She smiled at the thought of sharing this moment with them. "That was wonderful, sweetheart," Kelly exclaimed, hugging her. "It was," Kara echoed. "Who knew my new roommate had such a talent?" "Thank you," Ava said, unable to stop smiling. As the band packed their gear, Owen picked up his burger at the bar. With an easy grin, he joined them. Styrofoam container in one hand, dog in the other. "Ready?" They all walked down the stairs together, the excitement of the night lingering in the air. Owen held the door wide as they stepped outside, the warm night air enveloping them and a hushed stillness settling over the street. The heat was palpable, but the bar's lively energy had quieted. Only a few cars passed by, and pedestrians dotted the street like distant stars in a peaceful sky. Those still out moved with purpose, returning home after a night of laughter and music. Ava felt a sense of connection, each step carrying the excitement of the evening as they all walked into the calm night together. How would she ever sleep tonight knowing she had to be back here bright and early for her new job and the possibility of seeing him again so soon? She was still wired from the music and the stimulation of being in downtown Nashville. Not to mention leaving the bar at closing time with Owen and performing the last song. Did you park in the parking garage I told you about? Owen asked, breaking into her thoughts as he turned to face her. We did. That was perfect. What a lovely night, Kelly added. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Kara added. You were good, Toby said, lightly punching Ava in the shoulder. Thanks for letting me sing. It was so much fun. No problem. Anytime. We get tired of hearing Owen's old, scratchy voice, Toby joked. It's nice to change it up. Plus, you're way better to look at. Thanks, I think. Ava smiled. The women turned to go. Hang on a minute. We'll walk you to your car, Owen said. You don't have to. Ava started to protest. I know we don't have to. We want to. Besides, we're all going in the same direction. That's where we park. He looked around. I just need to check something first. Give me just a minute. He stepped back into the alley. After a moment, she was curious, so she followed him. Dorothea? He called. He waited a beat. When there was no answer, he tried again. Dorothea, it's me, Owen. What are you... Ava's voice broke off as she saw a figure barely visible among the shadows. The older woman emerged, a mere wisp of darkness against the brick wall, her presence initially unsettling. There you are, Owen said with a hint of a smile in his voice. What do you want? Dorothy asked, stepping from the darkness and stopping at the edge of the pool of light which kept her on the rim of obscurity. Ava could see the whites of her eyes reflecting in the pale light. I thought I told you to call me Dot. Owen chuckled. That you did. He walked toward her, holding out the stark white container. I have something for you. She stepped into the circle of yellow and adjusted her worn green backpack. What is it? She asked, trying not to appear too eager. A cheeseburger? The kitchen had a few left from the evening rush. I thought maybe you might like it. Ava stood silently behind Owen, with Gunnar at her side, and watched the scene unfold. She knew what Owen said wasn't true. She had watched him order and pay for the burger himself. Her heart gave a little pang at his sweetness as the older woman eyed him a little warily. How did you know I was going to be here? She asked. Are you stalking me? He laughed and said, I just took a chance. Like you did on that pretty girl from the other night? Dorothea questioned, raising a crooked finger in Ava's direction. Owen's head turned as if on a swivel. He smiled at Ava. Turning back to Dorothea, he winked. I guess you could say that. He lifted the container. If you're not interested, that's okay. Now, I didn't say that. She moved even closer. She reminded Ava of a stray cat, curious, cautious, yet hungry, unable to withstand the pull of a hot meal. The delicious burger was a temptation the woman couldn't resist. Then again, so was Owen. Owen stepped closer, his arm outstretched, not making the older woman come to him. She took the container from him cautiously. slowly lifted the lid and peered inside. "Looks delicious," she said. "Smells even better." Owen smiled. "They make the best burgers." "Thank you." Licking her lips, she swallowed hard and closed the styrofoam lid. Shifting slightly, she cocked her head. "Can I meet your girl?" Owen laughed again. The sound carried in the empty alley, husky and deep. "Not sure she's my girl, but I would be more than happy to introduce the two of you." Owen turned and motioned toward Ava. Ava stepped forward with Gunner. "Ava, this is Dorothea." "It's nice to meet you." "Likewise," the older woman said, looking Ava over. My there, cowboy. She is a pretty thing." "That she is," Owen agreed. "You got lucky." "I did." He cleared his throat. "Well, it's late and we need to get home. Are you gonna be all right out here?" "Me?" she asked, then let out a hearty cackle. She cocked her head at him. "I can't remember when someone asked me if I'd be okay." "Will you?" he asked again sincerely. "Oh, go to war, Aunt Hanny." She waved him off. "Of course I will. Don't you fret over me." She lifted her hand to encompass the area. "I know these streets like the back of my hand." "All right then. You have a good night." She rattled her container in his direction. "You bet your boots I will." "Have a good night," Ava added as Owen reached for her arm. Dorothea croaked something inaudible. Before they turned the corner, the older woman had melted into the shelter of the shadows and was gone. "Hey, hello. You love the hat? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. How the heck are you?" "It's good to see you hanging around these parts. It is my pleasure to have you in my stream." Ladies and gentlemen, Hey 763 is, well, she's a gal that wears her heart on her sleeve, but has a smile that makes the stars shine brighter at night. She is one of a kind. And I recommend you click on her name there and make sure you fill in that heart. Because if you do, she will fill yours in return. Thank you, Dry. Toby, Kara, and her mother waited on the sidewalk just outside the bar. "Ready?" Owen asked, as if the whole thing in the alley hadn't transpired. "You bet." Toby nodded as they started toward the parking garage. Ava wasn't sure what to say, but she had to ask. "Dorothea, she's homeless?" "I assume so," Owen answered. "I've seen her around, but I officially met her the other night when you plowed into me on the street." "When I plowed into you?" Ava questioned. "As if. I hardly think that's what happened." "If you don't believe me, you can ask Dot. She saw the whole thing." "Oh, did she now?" They walked under a pool of light that illuminated the sidewalk, and Ava could see the ghost of a smile play across his mouth. How do you know she isn't a little crazy? He shrugged. I don't. Then shot her a smile. But I do know one thing. What's that? Owen slipped his hand into hers and intertwined their fingers. Warmth spread from his to hers, an upper arm heading right to her heart. I got lucky when I ran into you. Her heart fluttered. You're a smooth one, aren't you, Owen Lane? He didn't answer. He just let the question drift into the warm summer air. And that is chapter 12. Mel, I think the addition of Dot/Dorothea was a really good idea. Oh, that was some good neck pops.
I can just taste it now. I can just taste the awesomeness in my mouth. Wait, no.
But
I feel like that sounded differently before.
huh, you can taste the awesomeness, huh? Good, good. Just curious. What kind of taste was it? Was it sweet? Salty? A little bit of both? Just curious. You're guessing vanilla flavored? Yeah, it could be. That's definitely an option, you know? Nothing's off the table at this point. Give me the eggs. Kapow. 11. 11. Nice. Whoa, we're almost halfway there. Whoa. You know when they say don't put all your eggs in one basket? That is exactly what is happening right now. All my eggs are going in one basket. I'm not really sure if that's a problem. Man, that tea's good. Yeah, there was something about chapter 12 that just really captured my attention a little bit differently than all the other chapters so far. Obviously, it's because of Dot and the homelessness and the generosity, you know, the whole 9 yards, but I can't put my finger on the specifics of it, if that makes sense. Hey, Book Daddy, when you make pancakes, do you add vanilla to the batter? Well, I got news for you, Dry. I don't make pancakes. So sorry. My apologies. Yeah. That's my bad. But if I did, vanilla does sound like a good addition to the flavor. I know. Look, I don't want to get into it too much, but I am a very selective eater. Figured you to be a natural in the kitchen? Well, you figured really wrong. I make what I make, and what I do make, I make well. But the problem for me is that because I am such a selective eater, that I don't make a lot of things. Because I'm not going to eat them. You know what I mean? And I haven't become the kind of person that, like, makes a whole bunch of stuff that I wouldn't ever eat for other people. So, therefore, my experience in the kitchen is limited. What? You, a selective eater? No. Stop it. Hold the press. Never would have guessed, would you? No. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, because it sounds like you have way more experience in the kitchen than me. Which, it's a good thing. I'm also a selective eater. I hate garlic, celery, and tuna fish. And since these things are very common in the kitchen, that makes me very selective. Interesting. I don't hate garlic, I just don't need too much of it. Celery? I don't even know what celery's for. Like, why is that a thing? Tuna fish? I don't mind tuna fish. I like tuna fish. In fact, salmon, smoked haddock, even just whitefish or bass. I'll eat that kind of fish, but sea fish? No. I'm not doing the sea fish kind of thing, like the crab and all that kind of stuff. I like most fish, but tuna tastes like cat breath to me. Poor locust. Celery, soup, salad, garnish. Yeah, but why? First of all, celery is mostly water. It's just crunchy water. But it's like someone tainted the water and made it taste weird. And smell weird, for that matter. I don't get it. Fresh tuna, yes. Canned tuna, gross. Well, sure. So, I mean, let's say you've never had fresh tuna before and you've only ever had canned tuna, right? You might think that canned tuna is not bad. But then as soon as you have the fresh stuff, you're going to be like, oh my God, what was I eating? And then you'll never want to eat canned tuna again. So do as I do and just never have fresh tuna. Celery has a weird, bitter flavor. Celery is just weird. They should leave it for the animals. That's all I'm saying. I had tuna steaks before. Tuna steaks? I'm going to be honest with you. I've never even heard of a tuna steak. You got a stick of celery in your Bloody Mary in the morning. Blech. 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 Tuna steak equals fresh tuna. Oh. Well, then just call it fresh tuna. Stepmama's mama over there, like, shaking her head like, you poor thing. Bless your soul. Bless your heart. I take it you're a vodka and orange juice guy. I'm actually more of a white rum, like Malibu. Lately, I've been making a lot of pineapple rum with pineapple juice and orange juice mixed in, and then added some crushed ice to it. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Celery is delicious, especially with peanut butter. Two bad things together don't make them good. Okay. Pairs well with coffee. Do you, Red Thorn, hello. Do you dunk yours in your coffee, Red? Celery peanut butter with a fudge dip. Blech. I like fudge dip, but you just ruined it. What has happened? This chat has gotten out of control. If it would make you blanch, I might. Aren't you playing Helldivers? Don't you need to go defend democracy? Which, by the way, I still haven't actually had a chance to check out the new stuff. Haven't done that yet. You started it talking about selective eating. I talked about selective eating, not specifics. Trying to pin this on me. Jeez. Alright, chapter 13 is like 2 pages, so I'm going to distract you all with 2 pages of a chapter. That's true, I started it then. See, it's Locust's fault. I started talking about pancakes with vanilla flavor. Wow, everyone's just like, no, it was me. My fault. Never mind what I'm doing. I will mind. Thank you. I wish I could join you, but right now I'm engrossed in a really good story. So if you'll excuse me, chapter 13. Now, chapter 13 is important. You want to know why? Because it doesn't have a name like the other chapters, which means it's about the killer and his cereal, Captain Crunch. Pancakes are yummy. My mom makes the best potato pancakes. Man, anytime I think of my mom making something yummy, my brain automatically fires back to a core memory I have. I was young. I was in my room. It was nighttime. I was in my pajamas, my dressing gown, or my robe, as you guys call it over here. And I hear her from the bottom of the stairs yell up to me, and I come out of my room, and I'm like leaning over the banister, and she's like, "Do you want a bacon sandwich?" Or, as she would say, a bacon butty. And immediately I'm like, yes, I do. So she would bring upstairs to me just one sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, cut in half. And there'd be a few pieces of bacon on there with HP brown sauce, which is a really good flavor. It's the closest thing I can relate it to here in the States is like a barbecue sauce, but it's not. But it has a tang to it. But anyway, a little bit of that, and it was just the best. Such a simple thing, but it's like I can still taste it. And after eating that, I just went right to sleep. I miss my mom. Okay. Chapter 13, page 73 from the killer's perspective, I think. Or about the killer. He held his cards close to his chest, arranging them numerically. His heart skipped as he realized he had a straight flush. It was the best hand he had so far. But why should that surprise him? It was the 7th hand of the night, and 7 was his lucky number. The only thing higher was a royal flush. What were his odds? Thank you. He took a long swallow of beer. His eyes scanned the other players, trying to read their expressions. From the looks of things, pretty damn good. He tried to suppress the smirk twitching at the corner of his lips. He had this. The odds were definitely to his advantage. His eyes flicked to the pile of poker chips, the $100 scratch-off ticket, and the switchblade in the middle of the table. His nerves hummed under his skin. On edge, he glanced at his last few blue and red chips, trying to decide if he should risk it all. Poker and alcohol were as essential to him as breathing. He needed both to feel alive. His job, however, didn't provide that same sense of fulfillment, at least not yet. To him, poker and alcohol went hand in hand. Unfortunately, both required money, which he never seemed to have enough of. Poker, in particular, had the power to take and give. There were rules. But those rules were meant to be tested, stretched to their limits. He mused, ever since he devised the plan, just like he was doing now. And it was working. He couldn't believe how easy it was to take from another, to feed them lies and then capitalize. He couldn't believe how gullible some people were, especially women. They would believe anything and trust anyone. If you just waved the right bait in front of them and knew what button to push, they would come crawling for a chance. He watched the other players call. When it was his turn, he didn't hesitate. Just like the plan, he was all in. He pushed his chips into the center of the table with a grin. All or nothing, baby. And that was a very quick chapter 13. Allie, lurk. I'm out being a bad influence with cough syrup. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Allie influenced me and now I'm joining her. What are you guys doing? And hi, Corgi. By guys, I mean gals. Like, are you literally physically together, or do you mean like virtually out, like playing a game or something? Time to go for some more eggs. Anyone can play this game, by the way, not just me. Turn 17. I can't believe I'm not higher than level 6, though. It's quite surprising. I mean, have you seen the price of eggs? Need all the eggs you can get. And then after that, make some chicken. Maybe shred it. Mix in some sauce. Slap it on a bun. Wish I had bought that raspberry cheesecake I saw in the store today. It was a bit expensive, but right now I definitely pay the price for it. Ooh, yeah. Cheesecake does have Just that nice, smooth texture to it. Stump Mom's mama will not be surprised by this, but we actually have some tuxedo cake from Costco in our fridge right now. It was 400 grams, I think, and it was 12. Wow. Make it into a quesadilla? Yeah, absolutely. Make some tacos or a burrito. Of course you do. Hey, to be fair, I wasn't the one that went out and bought it, okay? I just want you to know that. I didn't buy it, but it's there. And if it's there, I'm gonna eat it, okay? But also fresh raspberries and baked that today. It looked really yummy. Yeah, I bet it did. I had raspberry lemonade with my lunch today. We went to Olive Garden, the fanciest American Italian restaurant. I had the soup salad breadstick combo, zuppa toscana, of course. And afterwards, I didn't want to move, which is part of the reason why I took such a good nap later on. Because my body was like, let's go digest all that yumminess. I like the green tea from Panera Bread. I haven't had the green tea from there. Actually, I barely even consider Panera Bread at all when I'm thinking about restaurants. Because I don't know. I'm just not a Panera guy, you know? Olive Garden? Definitely heard that name before. Yeah, that sounds fancy. Yeah, it's not. They try to be fancy. They try to be Italiano. Ciao. But, yeah, no. When I first got to the States, I used to think that it was like a fancy place and you had to dress up to eat there. And then I went inside and people were wearing like jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. And I was like, oh, never mind. Stump Mom and I love Panera for lunch. Yeah, I've done like their soup sandwich combo, I think. I like their chocolate croissants. Yeah, their chocolate croissants are pretty good. There are some crazy expensive restaurants here, but it looks more like someone painted on the plate. Where's the food, my guy? I paid $100 for this art. Yeah, I hate restaurants like that. Soup in a bread bowl. Tasty. Yeah, if you have a good broth and a nice thick piece of bread, just soaking that up there. Most of the breakfast buffets on our trip had chocolate croissants. I bet they did. Not jealous at all. The farmers market that we have in town, in the downtown area, they have a bakery that was selling, baked goods, as one would imagine. And one of those was chocolate croissants. Now, this thing was like huge, okay? And I was seeing this thing and I was like, oh my God, I want one. I got one. And I started eating it. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't that good. At all. It was pretty flavorless. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they did to it, but that was the first and last time I got one of their pastries. So, that's a bummer. I could eat some late night breakfast right now, some scrambled eggs and crispy bacon, bread with cheese and orange juice. There's something about a breakfast meal at any time of the day that always just seems to work out, you know? It's like, it's one of those reliable meals. I'm not sure what to have. We'll have breakfast. Sounds like it needed peanut butter. That would have just made me throw it out faster, honestly. So, there you go. Breakfast for dinner is always a winner. Yep. Well, at least we can agree on that, Stepmom's mama. Breakfast any time of the day. And a good old big glass of milk to go with it. I have been completely distracted from our book, talking about food. Not that I don't mind. Breakfast for dinner is always a winner, eating leavened bread like I'm a sinner. Really? Did you type that while you were reloading, Red? Just curious. Oh, gosh. All right, well, I think we're at a nice casual, maybe on the way to a Hellpod. Okay. I think that's a good casual place to pause our reading for tonight. Besides ending with what I assumed is the serial killer's moments in their day, playing poker and whatnot. Seems like a good pausing point, because that's like completely different from the rest of the story. So we're not getting into something else with Ava or Owen or whatever. Where's my bookmark? There it is. Look at this bookmark, y'all. I'm gonna use this bookmark for a long time. On the back, very cool. So yeah, I'm gonna put that right there. Put the book back up here where it's nice and safe and in my view. And then on Tuesday, we'll get back to it. Speaking of poker, that was a game I used to play quite often, actually. And I still enjoy it, but I haven't played in... I honestly don't even remember how long. A long time. A couple of years at least. But, yeah. I used to enjoy sitting down with friends and, you know, whittling away at a $20 bill over a few hours playing nickel, dime, quarter kind of games and whatnot. Or even the random trip to a casino to sit down and spend a couple hours at the table and see what happened. Usually not good. But yeah. Yeah, it was a game I enjoyed playing. But yeah, I haven't done it for a long time. I imagine if I went there now, I would be eaten alive because I am so out of practice. Oy. So let's see. Tuesday, continue our adventure through Tenneessee Wishes. Thursday is up in the air. It could be more truck driving, it could be Helldivers. It really just kind of depends on what's going on. Both games are really fun. So I think it's just who's available and, you know, how the mood hits. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But either way, all good times. I really did. I had a blast driving truck with 6 other people we ended up with, because Allie joined as well. It was great. It was a really good time. I hope we can all do that again. It would be awesome to get 7 people in there with me, and then we'd have a full-blown convoy. 8 drivers in total, causing absolute chaos. But yeah, it just depends on availability. So yeah, that's the plan. Tuesday more reading, and then Thursday, depending on who's around and what everyone's plans are, it'll either be truck driving or hell diving. Either way, all good timing, because I'm trying to be rhyming. I'm gonna stop now, though. Right. Who do we have online that I can raid and we can go say hello to? Let's see, shall we? Oddly, there are not as many people online tonight as I expected. But that's okay. Oh, you know what? She's playing Hunt Showdown right now. And to my surprise, when I joined her stream earlier, she was completely gothed out. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But I think that's who we're gonna go raid. Kilobyte is her name. She pops in here from time to time. Just make sure I'm spelling everything right, because last time we raided, I sent us to somebody else, which was not my intention at all. Probably all the people cutting up celery, making soup and Bloody Mary peanut butter celery sticks. Yeah, probably. I mean, gotta have your to-do list and your meal prep ready for the week ahead. So I mean that absolutely checks out. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right, copy that raid message if you please. Let's go show some support to the killer. She's streaming with her fiancé Onslaught right now. They have their shared stream, shared chat going. But yeah, we'll be back Tuesday. We'll keep reading. I'm excited to see what else happens in the story. It's going to be a good time. But until then, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a wonderful night.